I'm going about my business the other night, making dinner. Went in the fridge to grab some butter, and I noticed this funny paper scroll behind the butter. Oh, don't look too close at my refrigerator. I asked the hubby, what's in the scroll? Let's find out what's inside these guys. So inside this lovely scroll are actually bees. A lot of you already know we keep honeybees. But my husband this year wanted to venture into the orchard bee world, and that includes mason bees and leafcutter bees. I'll show you right here. We have some mason bees, which you can tell they use the mud to seal off their cocoons. This one, we have leafcutter bees. They use chewed up vegetation to seal off their cocoons here. And another bundle of mason bees here. So besides having bees in my fridge, I also have a bee house on my counter. So check this out.
All right, this right here is a mason bee house. Essentially it's a block of wood, scrap wood, 6 inches deep. This is probably about 3.5 inches wide or so. I marked off holes about every 3/4 of an inch and drilled them out all the way through. And then you'll see a number of papers here. What I did is I went through with some paper, and I'll pull one out for you. The idea is almost creating a reed for them. This is just a piece of like a packing paper. Put it around a pencil. That way, at the end of the season, after they place their cocoons in here and feed them, it's easier to harvest. You can just pull that out, open it up, get the cocoons, and then reuse this. If you don't put paper in there, something that you can pull out, what'll happen is you'll get different parasites in there, and you're essentially building a bee cemetery rather than a bee house. So you want to have, if you do a block of wood, you want to be able to pull the reed out or the medium out that holds the cocoons. That way you can inspect them, store them for the winter, and be ready to let them go. And you can refresh it by doing this again next year. The reason it's at a slant here is that way when I put a roof on it, the water's going to run off, and I'm also going to put a piece of wood on the back side here to close this off so it's dark. So it's a dark hole that they're in.
So what are you doing right now?
So I'm getting the cocoons out of the reed. These are the orchard mason bees. You can see all the mud that they use. And then you can see the actual cocoons of the bees there.
Let me get a little closer so you can see that. So those are the bees. How many bees were in that reed?
I'm going to find out here just in a second. So what they do is, there's the mason bee, which is a solitary bee, lays the egg, it gives it all kinds of pollen and food that it needs, and then that egg hatches and does its own cocoon, and then this is how it stores for the winter. You clean them off, and you can put them out in the, when it warms up, put them out and they'll hatch on their own. So this would be a male, being a smaller cocoon, and this is a female. You can see the different sizes there.
Oh yeah.
And another male. Typically the males are going to be closer to the end. They'll hatch first. They'll go get some food, and then they're going to be looking for the females to hatch later for mating.
There's pollen in there. So which one are the male and females on this?
So these are the smaller ones, it looks like, at the
and
end.
They're close to the end.
And then these are your females.
Females at the end.
5 females and 2 males there.
Cool. Why they go in the water?
I just cleaned all the rest of the debris off them.
And they're supposed to float, right?
Yeah, if you have any that go right to the bottom, you want to get rid of those. Just cleaning off the cocoons from the debris and stuff that was in the reeds, and put them back in the fridge for a little bit. You can do this in the fall. I'm doing it now because I just got the reeds. And then put them outside. In a few more days, it should be warm enough that they're going to start hatching, and the trees will start budding out, and should be good to go. All right, so this right here is a mason bee house picked up at Tractor Supply. It was about $10. It's a little shorter than I desired. It's only about 3.5 inches deep. I wanted something that was more like 6 inches. And then the reeds are in there and they're permanent. So to harvest the mason bees, we'll have to pull them out of there. So it's a one-time use hive. I did add a cage to keep birds from pecking in there, help them a little bit with predators. And then I added a little bit extra of some sheet metal there, some flashing, just to keep the rain off the top of the house, give them a little extra protection from rain in the very front as well.
Yeah, and this is near the orchard. We have the apple trees that way. Swing around here, and there are different kinds of fruit trees here.
Yeah, we got some peaches, pears, plums. So today we're going to release our mason bees. Well, we're going to put them out to be released. It's April the 6th, and so what I have here is I've got a little container of mason bees. The larger ones are the females, the smaller ones are the males, and so I'm just going to set those in a little box. And then here are the reeds that I got. I took these out to take a look. This is still a learning process for us. I've got a few here. I believe these with the vegetation at the end, those are leaf cutters. And then I've got a few that I'm going to let out that are called Californica. And then the one with the mud at the end is another blue orchard mason, which is the same as what's in this jar. So what I did is I built a little house here just to release them in, just so no bugs or birds or any other predators get to them. So I'm going to put them in there. I put it right under their home. So I'm hoping that they emerge from here when the time is right, which should be any time now because the temperature is staying around mid-50s to about 60, and then at night it's about 35 or so. They can handle the cold pretty good. So I'm hoping they're going to make this their home when they emerge.
Okay, y'all, so it's been a couple days, and if I zoom in here, it's not going to focus on that behind there. If you look carefully, you can tell, I got dirt on me, that bee has emerged. There are 2 in the cut back there that have emerged, 2 male bees. So we're excited to see how the mason bees will help our orchard, and maybe this inspires you to even get them. They're a lot more doable than, say, honeybees, where you have to have so much equipment, and it does take a lot of money to get started. It was very doable to get started with the mason bees. We just saw another bee house at Sam's for $17. So let us know, comment below if you are inspired to keep mason bees. We'd really like to know. It's awesome to add more of God's creatures. Okay, speaking of God's creatures, a horse just scared me. It's awesome to add more of God's creatures into our own landscape out here and to see the blessings that will come from that. So hope y'all come back. You gonna come see me after you scared me? Come on down. Our neighbors just got some horses. They had horses for a while, but they got some more back, so we're real excited to see them and hear them. It's so fun to watch them run. Hey, buddy. You have a good evening, okay? I know. You scared me when you did that. I'll come see you later, okay?